Welcome to another Duranie Distraction. Oh yeah, we're here. John Taylor once said the power station also refers to the human heart. It supplies blood and energy and it powers the human body. I'm thinking of that today. Like, my power station is linking up with yours, and we are supplying energy and electricity to get us through this year. And just these distractions are part of it. So let's just wire ourselves up today, huh? Oh my God, it's so good to have you guys here. And there's so much to look forward to. As hard as this year has been, I was listening to Nick Rhodes on the last Caddy Cafe, and he was talking about the new album. It's ready to be sent out for mixing. There's already some songs that are ready. I mean, this is such a special time. We are all gearing up and steeling ourselves for the release of a new Duran Duran album next year. Hopefully, maybe by the end of this year, who knows? But it's coming, and it's such a really special time in the life of a Duranie. I mean, we just try to tide ourselves over with whatever the band's doing, but it's when a new album is being prepared. Oh my God, it's just like, it only happens during those circumstances, right? And I know, it's very, very exciting. So there's lots and lots to look forward to. And for those who didn't tune in to the Caddy Cafe with Nick, the Daily Duranie did an amazing job summarizing everything. So thank you for Daily Duranie and for everyone doing things to comfort other fans out there. You guys are just all my heroes. Just absolutely amazing, and I love you all. Okay, so today we have a lot to get through. I'm not going to clutter it up with a lot of talk. There's going to be plenty of feels, but I'm just going to get right into the affirmation, and then we're just going to start up our time machine and crank ourselves back to the 80s. Oh, it's going to be so cool. Oh, fantastic. So good to have you guys here. Okay, here we go. We have a new affirmation. Find your center. Focus on your breathing. Just be very aware of all the worries just leaving out your body and just feeling all the goodness and the warmth that comes from bonding and hanging together. Okay. I am strongest when I feel weak. I am bravest when I feel afraid. And I believe I've got enough for when the sun doesn't shine. Yeah, we got it, what it takes to get through. Okay, here we go. I picked out a book today with some really, really cool features in it. One of the themes that kind of kept cropping up in this book was some magazines would bring fans in and offer them a little bit of a window into what the band's lives were like. We have no idea, especially when you're young in the 80s. I mean, Duran Duran are bigger than life. We've all been through that. We all know what it felt like. But once in a while, Smash Hits and Star Hits magazines especially provided little windows into a day in the life of, John or Simon. And, you find things out you would never normally imagine. Like, oh my God. So it's kind of a cool thing. It stood out to me. So we're going to get through that. And then there's a really cool quiz. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to share it with you. See how much you know. I don't want to get bogged down too much because I want to move through. But then before you know it, the time is going to be up. So we're just going to have fun. We're just there's a connection here. We're just going to wrap ourselves up in it like a big security blanket. It's just love and awesomeness. And who is that? Anne-Marie Van Tonder. Oh my God, that's a fantastic name. I can't quite pronounce it, but I love having you here. So, Anne-Marie, hello, welcome. Okay. Oh, and a few birthday shout-outs. Amanda Pants and Sandy Walsh. Happy birthday. There's so many birthdays happening this year, as it always happens. I'm so glad you guys were hatched. Okay, here we go. Let's dive in. We're going to start off with an issue of Teen Bag magazine. Now, if there isn't a perfect title of a magazine, I mean, this Teen Bag is it, right? I mean, it contains, exciting teenage emotions and goodness, and it's like, ooh, your favorite stars. Teen Bag. Okay, so that's what the cover looked like. And one thing that really stood out, to anyone who was planting themselves in front of a supermarket magazine stand, he says, Duran Duran day to day, who they know, where they go, and how to spot them. I mean, this is just life goals and like, adulting at that age as much as it can be, right? I mean, you're developing the skills to spot Duran Duran. They could be in your neighborhood. You need to know this stuff. So, yeah, that was really cool. And so it starts out with a feature. We're starting off with a little examination of John. The lady killer is a secret softie. So, yeah, there's things you didn't know about your favorite tailor, if you were a John girl. And there's one thing that stood out to me. The secret John's been trying hard to hide is that underneath that girl-crazy exterior is a soft heart. A heart that still dreams of having a girl of his own to love and marry. I wish I'd been to half the parties I'm supposed to have been at, John says, complaining about the gossip that follows him in newspapers and magazines around the world. But I'm nothing like that. I'm a real old softie. I'm too nice, too accessible. I talk too much. I'd spill out my problems to anyone. And that's where the problem lies. Now, I won't talk about my girlfriends to the press. It's ruined too many relationships. I'm probably the least macho man I know. He's a little softie. Didn't know that? Now you do. I know it's a little late, but you can file that away in your memory banks. Anyway, that's very cute, and there's some great pictures. Okay. And then the feature goes on and talks about Nick, supposing there's going to be a breakup, and Nick says maybe yes, maybe no, between him and Julianne, I believe. Nope, they're talking about the band. Anyway, who likes the word breakup, right? Anyway, it's just the magazines, fanning the flames of controversy as much as they could. And here's the bonus: who they know, where they go, and how to spot them. So this is a real, helpful guide for fans back in the day. I mean, you could be at the supermarket, going out with your parents, to the mailbox. I mean, you just never know when, Roger Taylor just walks by. You need to be prepared. Yeah, okay. There's one thing that I picked out from this. When the restaurant urge hits the guys, you need to know where they're going to go for restaurants, right? When the restaurant urge hits the guys, they have specific preferences no matter what city they're in. Simon will head for the best fish restaurant around. John likes Chinese and Indian. At home in Birmingham, he goes to the Shaw on Broad Street. I think Broad Street was where their old fan club was located. I think, if I remember correctly. And then Roger prefers French and Korean. Andy likes Chinese and English. And Nick is a meat and potatoes kind of guy. I thought he was vegetarian. Okay, maybe now he is. Things evolve, things change. I can't keep up. And in New York, they stop by the MTV hangout, the Century Cafe, because they can get a taste of all their favorites there. And then it talks about how Simon and Nick share a passion for shopping. This is really valuable stuff. So, these magazines were our lifeline, learning about the members. Some great pictures, too. There you go. Tracy Grant Dunlop is here. Hey, Tracy! Oh, and then, of course, when you're tired of reading, you can always just simply go through the year with Simon Le Bon. This time it's Simon. Next time it'll be John. It'll be Nick. I mean, how to go through the year, right? I mean, you gotta have accompaniment. Simon, John, Nick, Roger, and Andy going through the years with you. Yes, please. Okay. So then there's the feature in so many magazines. It gives the fans a voice. You can write in with questions, comments, concerns, and I picked two. There's a feature here called Dear Melissa. So Melissa Duran Beasley. They all like to give themselves like Duran middle names back then, right? Melissa Beasley, she answers some questions. Here's one, someone writes in, Dear Melissa, I am writing in fear of guilt and disappointment. You see, I'm a very big fan of Duran Duran, and I just bought their new album, Arena. I'm very disappointed that during the whole summer, all they came up with as a new song was Wild Boys. With such talent as theirs, I feel that they could have come up with more new songs than that. A Duranie in distress. seriously? Cut them some slack. It's a live album, dude. Oh, okay. So the response has been, Duran has been very busy through the summer, and perhaps they haven't had time to record any new songs, but give them credit for what they've done. P.S. In case you haven't heard, the new Duran album featuring all new songs will be out in February or March. So there's a little hope that that Melissa gave the fans. But this is you see this a lot. Fans get impatient. It's like, oh, Duran time, right? And that was pretty much before we knew what Duran time was, although we were feeling it. Just kind of really fun. Climbing inside the heads of fans back then, which we all kind of shared. And then. Someone else writes in, someone named Diane. Dear Melissa, in one part of the video, Planet Earth, there are two people dancing in the background. One of my friends says it's John. I say it's not. Who's right? And, it makes me think of, like, myself poring over those videos, watching every detail, and trying to figure out who's who, what's really happening, all these questions that we had. And Melissa writes in, Dear Diane, I hate to disappoint you, but the one on your left is John. Now, of course, I'd have to, watch it again to see if she's actually right. I mean, how many times have magazines got things wrong? But I'm not going to be nitpicky. It was just kind of cool to see fans get their voice. Okay. Then we move on to Smash Hits Yearbook 1984. Yeah. Smash Hits and Star Hits, I mean, they were the Bible for us back then, right? The features that they had. So this is one in particular I got really, really excited about because this is what it looks like. A Day in the Life of Simon Le Bon. Now this, I got excited because this is in his own words. And honestly, I mean, I definitely collect articles on the band, but I don't necessarily read them. So sharing it with you, this is my first time. Okay, so this is kind of fun. And it's just really cool because it's in Simon's own voice. So, okay. It's difficult, he starts out. It's difficult because I never really have any typical days. But this is the full day when we made the video for Is There Something I Should Know? Big breath. That's so cool. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning with an alarm call and get out of bed. I stay in a hotel in London for a job like that to have easier access to London. Then go down to Greek Street where we go to the offices of MGMM, the video producers. First thing is to take a shower in their office, get myself dried, do something with my hair. He actually does, so he doesn't actually wake up looking awesome, apparently. He actually has to do something with it. It's probably about 6 o'clock in the morning now. The next thing I do is get a makeup call and breakfast together. It's very difficult to get made up round your mouth when you're eating greasy sausages and chips. That's an image. That all takes place together. Usually the lower area of my face is done first and then has to be redone after all the grease is run down my chin. Ooh, visuals! After breakfast and makeup, it's probably about 6:30. I get into clothes. The day before, we decided what clothes we were wearing, and we just bought them. They weren't especially designed or anything. We wanted to have uniforms, so we got black trousers, blue shirts, pink ties, and black boots. Now, I think I remember hearing that they really wanted like military outfits, but instead they got something like kind of toy soldier-ish, so there was some disappointment there, but that's just from what I remember. Amber's here. Oh, Amber's asking, was he naked before that? That's in your wheelhouse, girl. Okay, so you go ahead and ask those hard-driving questions. As soon as I'm dressed, there's your answer, I jump into a minibus with some of the film crew and go off to the location. Today's location is the back of Threadneedle Street in the city. We arrive there at about 7:15. They're still setting up the shots, so I go and sit in someone's car and turn the heater on because it's freezing cold. I'm sitting there for an hour and a half before anything actually gets moving. And I know all of you could easily have been there to warm him up. I know, he just didn't know it at the time. By 9 o'clock, the city is packed with people. I've been spotted in the car by people who are working across the road, and they all come down, and I spend half an hour signing autographs, shaking hands, and saying hi to all the people who like us. So sweet! I love that man! We finally start shooting, but by this time it's much too light and we're having problems. We have to put filters on, which holds us up for another 10 minutes. Then we shoot the scenes with businessmen, measuring tapes, glass balls, and a doggy. I remember all those scenes, the businessmen stepping out, reading their newspapers. Oh, that's so cool. They were measuring trees, weren't they? That's right. Oh, that's so cool. That's the bit in the video outside the bank. This takes us to about 10:30. Then we dash straight back to Greek Street, where there's a costume change because we're also filming scenes for the Lonely in Your Nightmare video. Ah, my favorite. That's one of my favorites. I quickly get changed into another costume, only to be informed that we're not doing any more shooting until after lunch. Well, I'm not. Andy and Roger and John all go off and do some shooting and come back. Then Nick goes off and does some. They're just so diplomatic about splitting up their time. I go off with my manager and have an Indian lunch just down the road. Very nice, too. I love Indian food. I don't like your real killer curries. I love chicken tikka and tandoori, and then there's a Persian curry called dansak, which I like. It's sweet and very good. It's a man of the world right there. We go back to the Greek Street studio, and I have a quick makeup touch-up. They've been going on all day, actually. Then we go off to a derelict building in, what's that area called, which is right next to Baker Street? No, not Marylebone, Maida Vale. That's right. Stand there, drink cups of tea, start hitting the brandy bottle because it's getting very cold. This is in winter, freezing cold all day. So Andy and I both hit the brandy, and we're doing scenes for Lonely in Your Nightmare. So I will now, from now on, I will be watching Lonely in Your Nightmare and thinking of him sipping brandy with Andy. You know, my reality just changed. Standing around, doing some lip syncing, looking out of windows, blowing dust off photographs, that kind of thing. Treading on creaky floorboards. That shoot lasted all afternoon until about 5:30. Then we went up to a studio in Battersea, where we had a costume change back into the There's Something I Should Know clothes, and carried on shooting the bit with the steps until about 11 o'clock at night. Oh, that's right, his little workout routine is he takes those big steps up in the geometric room. I love that. Then I went home to Pinner. I still live with my parents sometimes. If I go out when I'm staying there, I go round to the local pub where nobody hassles me about the group. It's just not done. People who go there are different. I do a lot of work in the evenings. A lot of writing gets done then. I like to turn the TV on and write lyrics. I write poetry too, and bits of a novel. I haven't been to the cinema for really ages, but I've watched a lot of films on video. It's not really the same though, is it? No, it's not. I like going out for dinner sometimes, and sometimes to nightclubs, although I'm really not a nightclubbing person. I'm more of a daytime person. There's still this great nightclub circuit in London, isn't there? The Palace and all those other places which keep opening up. I used to get really well into them, but now I just don't like waking up with a bad taste in my mouth in the morning. And if I drink too much champagne, that's what happens. Inside the mind of Simon Le Bon. Oh, yeah. Forever changed. Chemistry, chemical changes. Oh, it all happened. That's pretty cool. And there's Simon. Sharing a day in the life. David Wilson's here. Hey, David! And Shauna Bowles is here. Shauna! Okay, so here, this is a cool feature about the new romantic scene. And Nick's portion. He talks a little bit about Duran's involvement in the new romantic scene. There's a little picture of him up there and a great big picture in full color of our boys. Love that. Okay, but there's bigger stuff we can get to. Oh yeah. Like this. This is going over the band's history. I think this is from Smash Hits magazine. Beautiful. And then you got the band all suntanned on the couch. Love it. Everybody's smiling. they just absolutely change the whole wiring of the Earth's rotation when they smile. Okay, so back in the 80s, I remember there was so much happening as the band's star was just evolving, and they were just they were playing gigs and releasing albums, and there was just every year brought something new. I mean, there's just so much, and now there's still a lot happening, but I think a little slower pace, despite the advent of the internet, and we can kind of keep up a lot better. But back then, I just imagine, this is an article that talks about the year of Duran Duran, 1984, and every month there was just amazing things. 2 marriages, 1 baby, over 50 live shows, a #1 single. It's just so much activity. And so I picked out just a sample of these. In March of that year, dates in the Northeast opened the month, including a March 3rd date at the Carrier Dome on the Syracuse University campus, which was opened by John Taylor, Fave Rave, Billy Idol. So that's how they describe Billy. But yeah, Billy opened it. Wow. March 19th marked a special show for the band, their first ever appearance at Madison Square Garden. There's so much. For the 2 shows in the Big Apple, John, Nick, Roger, and Simon's moms and dads were in attendance. That's really cool. In April, Duran ended the month in the South, but they returned to the Northeast for a couple of shows and a live appearance at Mark Twain Junior High School in Brooklyn. The school had raised the most money for the Olympics of all participating schools, so DJs from Z100 Radio and the Durans showed up to say hello and thrill everyone to death. All these promotional appearances, and part of me kind of wishes that would just happen more. There'd be more radio appearances just to keep the juices flowing for the fans. That would be really cool if they did that. But, they're doing quite enough right now. They're preparing a new album, so no complaints. Just kind of makes me realize how much was actually happening on their trajectory in the 80s. And then July, the big event of the month, made a lot of girls cry over the wedding, Roger's wedding, as if to prove the old saying, it's the quiet ones you have to watch out for. Roger married his longtime girlfriend Giovanna in Naples, and she met Raj 5 years earlier. Oh, that was hard. That was really hard. So then they go by month. There's all this stuff. There's in November, the album Arena was officially released in America on November 8th. The Wild Boys climbed the charts like nobody's business, debuting at 37, spot number 37. It moved to 28, then 19, and the top 20 in only 3 weeks. That's so exciting. That's something that I really also look forward to. When the new album comes out, we all are, going to get behind it and watch the progress of the single. If assuming there's going to be a single, just really getting behind the band and just cheering them on and watching the chart listings, and it's a really cool, unique opportunity for us to support the band. It's us being fans in a whole way we haven't been in quite a while. So it's just really special. In December 1984, no Christmas Time tour of England. The group did not want to go on the road without new original material. Blue Silver, it's not Sing Blue Silver in this article, it's just Blue Silver, was aired on television, and the guys got the chance to spend Christmas with their loved ones. And the Wild Boys got up to number 2 in America. So what a way to close out the year. So anyway, it's really fun, and some great photos showing the band. That was a full year. What a year. And there's more shots. There's one of when Simon joined Frankie Goes to Hollywood at the New Year's Eve bash on MTV. Some great television appearances. Stephanie Long is here. Okay. Oh, and then Nick Rhodes loves to make an entrance, and so did his wife. You might remember this from People magazine when they made an appearance at Nick's Polaroid exhibition at the Hamilton Art Gallery in London's Mayfair. Yes, that was Julianne, wearing a very brave ensemble. Very cheeky, if you ask me. So, Teen Set, moving on quickly from that horrible pun. Teen Set was another great magazine. This is from November 1985. And this one talks about Duran readying the new album. And they have the birth certificates for the band. Oh my gosh, how exciting was that? You saw this reprinted like over and over in several other magazines. Really, really fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's, and you have a nice pic of John. Of course, he's not smiling. I think smile would do him a world of good in that shot. But yeah, all the birth certificates. It's so cute. From the General Register Office in London. Certified copy of an entry of birth. Entering the world and brightening up lives of countless fans. So, this is going to be fun. This is the quiz. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Now, we're going to see how this goes. Okay, I might just read a few. But there's some categories here which really are, it's not so easy. It's not the usual category. So let's see how much you know. I have the answers too. So this is going to be nice and hopefully manageable. Okay. So let's see. How well do you know Simon or John? So for John, his birthplace, Worcester, Birmingham, or Stoke-on-Trent? Yeah, I think we know that one. It's a multiple choice, by the way, so it's a lot easier. Yes, Birmingham, right? B, Birmingham. Perfect. So let's get a little more complicated. When it comes to horoscopes, John tends to look at A, Gemini, B, Capricorn, or C, Virgo. And that is the star sign. A, yep, Gemini. Gemini. Okay, of course. So let's get a little more complicated here. Let's see. What within the band? What is John's nickname as opposed to among his girlfriends? A, Legs, B, JT, C, Nige, or D, Night Ranger. Some of these choices are fun. Okay, so nicknames. B, okay, J, oh, you know, okay, I'm still stuck in the really simple stuff, so I apologize. Okay, further education. When John left secondary school, what did he go on to study? Let's see, what are the choices here? Do we even have? Okay, so this is a little. Oh, okay, actually, yeah, architecture, here we go. Architecture, accountancy, art and graphic design, or hair and makeup. And your selection, it would be, yes, C, art and graphic design. Okay, so I thought this was gonna go a little more challenging in my mind, but apparently I'm failing miserably, so. Anyway, this is a fun little thing. Yeah, how many brothers and John? Yeah, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, John has gone on record as saying he likes which burger, fast food? A, a Big Mac, B, a Wendy burger, C, a Big Whopper, or D, a wimpy half-pounder. And we are thinking what? Let's see if this is for food. Let's see, food. Got A, and what is A? Big Mac. Because I remember in Sing Blue Silver, the band, I think John and Roger were coming out of McDonald's, right? That's right. Okay. So that's that. I think we're just gonna, there's some really cool categories in here, but time goes so quickly in these distractions that I'm just gonna move on. Anyway, it's good pictures. I put out a valiant effort. I think it'll be much more fun when you all come to the archive and we can order pizza, eat it in the hallway, and just kind of quiz each other. I think that'll probably be best. Okay. Here it goes on. There's lots of questions about John's first car. That would have been a little more challenging. Good pictures there. Yeah, which car has John been known to drive? An Aston Martin DB5, a Datsun Laurel, Citroen 2CV, or a little red Corvette. Thank you, Prince. Believe it was the Aston Martin. Oh, he looks so good in that car, right? Okay. Oh, there's a great promo ad for the Live Aid book. And Live Aid is actually coming up, the anniversary. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. We'll maybe open up a box of Live Aid posters. That'd be fun. So there's a feature from, what is this? Tiger Beats. Tiger Beats! Oh, that's just a bastion of awesome Duranness back then. And this is John Taylor talking, and this is a question, were you popular with girls at school? And John says, no, I was spotty, pimply, and wore glasses. No one fancied me. I was a virgin until I was 20. Okay, wow. That's cool. That's cool. It was really hurtful knowing I was the only guy in my class who hadn't made it with a girl, and there was no one I could talk to about it. My parents tried to tell me the facts of life, but I said I already knew. I searched high and low at home to try to find erotic books which would explain about sex. This is John Taylor. Wow. But my dad wasn't that kind of guy. I suppose when Duran first started out, I was making up for lost time. Oh. That's a little window into his adolescence. Danielle writes in, she loves that mag. I know, Danielle. Tiger Beat was so great. That's great interviews. Are problems plaguing Duran? Hard questions. And this is really a focus on Roger. Poor Rog. It starts out, North London, England. In a huge, quiet house, a handsome young man relaxes in an armchair. Next to him is a telephone. Its receiver is off the hook so that no calls can come in. His pretty wife brings him some food, her brow furrowed with worry. Why? Her husband has hardly left the house since last fall. Who could have guessed that this unhappy young man is Roger Taylor? Those who have seen him tanned and fit, romping on beaches in the band's videos, or drumming aggressively on stage, would certainly not recognize this Roger. It's really, really kind of a tender examination of where he was at that point. That was hard. That was really hard. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and he's asked, what has been your biggest sacrifice for success? And Roger talks about being on the move, never seeing his parents. Never pass up a chance to see your parents. Teen Set. Teen Set is another magazine, October 1985. And this is kind of fun. John invites you into his home. Some great pictures. I wish they were a little lighter. Didn't anybody have Photoshop back then? Great pictures of John at home. That would be something. Just kind of walk in, hey John, and park yourself on his bed, just like looking at his little collectibles or whatever he wants to show you. I could get in big trouble if I don't move on right now. So there's a quote from him. Not sure if it's an actual quote, a little dubious, but what do you think of my gold record album hanging right beside the fridge? When I do get to roam about the house, I'm often in the kitchen, and that allows me to admire this. It's one of my most treasured possessions. I'm not much of a cook, sorry to say, but when I'm really famished, I can usually throw something together. Oh, very cool. John Taylor at home. And then on the other side, it talks about the ups and downs of Duran, always giving fans just a little bit of Duran feast to satisfy the ever-growing appetite. Rockline was another magazine, had a kind of a harder edge. They put some other harder bands in there, Quiet Riot, Motley Crue. This one was talking about Power Station in Arcadia. Three bands, not one. And that was a very interesting time for fans. We're trying to keep up with all the changes in our lineup, hoping to get back together. So this is interesting. There's a little bit here where Simon's talking about Arcadia. I was on holiday. I was going to do nothing when they, the power station, were doing that stuff. I felt I needed a break. Nick phoned me up and said, "Hey, Charlie, you can't do that. We've got to make an album. You've been promising me for 4 years." I can't help imagining like having the Funkos, having this conversation. I should have the Funkos here, just reenacting the conversation. That's great. And I said, "I suppose so. We had planned to do a cover version album or something like that and get some strange songs and put them together with our kind of sound on them." And I said, "We don't want to do a whole album of covers. Let's go for a mini EP or something." And Nick said, "Okay," but I knew in the back of his mind he thought we'd make an album. And we did. Great conversation between Simon Le Bon and Nick frickin' Rhodes. Talking about Simon's drum accident here. Yeah, that's another hard time. 1985 was hard. That was a really difficult year. Duran were just going through all kinds of changes. Here's an article from Us magazine. You know, it's really fun. It's like sometimes, I mean, teen magazines and newsstands were really fun, and you know they had the Duran features that we all looked for and just clambered for. But once in a while, Duran would make it into mainstream publications like People or Us magazine. That was like Rolling Stone. That was a major feat. That was always really exciting for me. So Us magazine, May 20th, 1985. Talks John Taylor, Vince McDonald is the journalist. John Taylor looks dead tired. It's been a typically grueling day for Duran Duran's bassist. In the morning, Taylor's limo was attacked by overzealous fans. In the afternoon, the Englishman had to be whisked out the back door of a posh Los Angeles eatery when a crowd of friendly admirers threatened to get too friendly. And all day long, a throng of groupies has been camped outside his LA hotel room. It's a hectic life being a rock star, and Taylor loves it. "I get mobbed by women," the 24-year-old millionaire casually remarks as he stretches his lanky, pajama-clad legs across a coffee table. Pajama-clad legs. You don't see that often in John Taylor articles. And then John talks about how he's not really the marrying kind. And then at the very end, this is really fun. Before John can continue the interview, a publicist arrives to ask if actor Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian, right? If he can bring his, Billy D. Williams, asking if Billy D. can bring his daughter, Hanako, for a visit. Taylor agrees. Father and daughter arrive 5 minutes later. Hanako, 12 years old, is immediately seized by Duran Duran syndrome. Lando's daughter is like a total Duranie. Oh my God, that's so fun. She seized by Duran Duran syndrome, rapid breathing, weak knees, and speechlessness. She's awfully shaky, notices the publicist. "Lean on me," says Taylor, wrapping his arm around the trembling girl. "I can't believe this," Hanako manages to squeal. Taylor smiles patiently. There is no rest for the weary rock star. I am so there with Hanako. Oh my God, what a great tidbit. Billy D. Williams' daughter meeting John for the first time. So cool. Oh, I love you guys. I love this band. I just love what we share together. This is so special. Another bit where fans writing in with their heartfelt expressions and questions. This is Dear John, Taylor's Tender 11 Letters, it's called. This is from Teen Beat magazine, May 1986. Dear John, I think you're the best looking man in the whole world. I think your eyes are sexy and you wear really nice clothes and your hair looks like it's silky smooth. I'd love to run my fingers through it. Don't diet anymore, okay? That's all for now. Jessica Ingram. That's a great letter, full of honesty. Run fingers through the hair. We all have to have life goals. This is from Billy Thomas. Dear John, I want to meet you more than anything in the world, but since I'm from a small town, I don't think I will. If I did, I think we could be good friends because we have a lot in common. I like James Bond movies too. I've seen all the James Bond movies that have ever come out at least 5 times, and I saw A View to a Kill at least 8. I played the record about 100 times. I guess you could say I loved it. I think you look so cute in the video, and I think it's really wild and funny too. I don't see it on TV too much, and my dad won't let me get MTV, so I have to look at my pictures of you on my bedroom wall. All 230 of them. Way to go, Billy. That's really, really fun. That was all us back in the day. So fun, so fun. Debbie Cruz is here. Hey, Debbie. Teen Beat. Okay, they just dispensed in this issue with any kind of text. They went right for the photos. They have an extra special Duran Duran pinup pack. That was really fun. When magazines just embraced the Durandemonium and just gave us all a real treat. Photo after photo, full page. Yeah. There's Roger and Andy. Beautiful. And Nick. Right under the word moist. You can just do all the processing of that you want on your own time. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. And then, there's John again with his hands on his shoulders. He talks about the fabulous year he's just had and the future of Duran Duran. Love it! This is really, really cool. Just all these opportunities to just kind of get inside the Duran brain and figure out what these guys love and what their days are like. Superstars magazine from October 1985 is showcasing Simon's new look. That was a big shock, right? Simon went total black. Wow. And this is a Dateline, keeping tabs on the Fab Five, going over their career and what they were doing. I mean, this is, we would structure our lives around what they're doing, right? Oh, they're in a new album. Okay, gotta keep an eye out for that. And they're doing all this stuff, trying to keep up. We were so hardcore Duranies back then. We were awesome, and still are. Then occasionally you get a contest, some star hits. Meet the Fab Five, a one-night stand with Duran Duran. It's the last Saturday night of Duran Duran's Mammoth US tour, and you are there! Because Star Hits is going to make 6 people very happy by flying them to the concert event of, dare we say it, the century. We've arranged for 3 pairs of tickets. That's 3 lucky Star Hits readers and 1 guest each to see Duran Duran in concert. We'll fly the winners to a secret destination in mid-April. And no, it's not Simon Le Bon's bedroom. No, I added that. Anyway, that's fun. I have no experience with winning any contest like that. None whatsoever. And here's an interview with Michael DeBar. Video Rock Stars is another magazine. And it was talking with Michael. It said, they said, John Taylor is very image conscious. That's the one thing he kept stressing in our interview was the image. Do you feel that way, that it's as important as he does? And Michael says, absolutely. John and I are in total agreement that the right earring is the right attitude. And he laughs. Oh, the right earring is the right attitude. Love Michael DeBar. That man just constantly puts out a beautiful flow of positivity for everyone. He's just the warmest guy. Okay, so this is a little feature on when Duran joined Boy George and Culture Club for that press conference. They were going to do the big super concert that never really happened. Fell through. Really unfortunate. John looks kind of tired at that press conference. And then number 1 was joining Star Hits and Smash Hits on the cover of in the newsstands. They were packed full of amazing features. And here's a great bit on Nick. Star Parts, Pop Stardom in 7 Easy Lessons. And Nick talks about his technique in the studio with his keyboards. It's a gorgeous picture. Absolutely gorgeous. From the flame. He looked great in the flame. His blonde hair. It's just the lighting was really great. And then, he talks about in the studio Once he's in the studio, it's often hard to get Nick out again. He says, we start after lunch and work through till dawn or even 24 hours. A morning start isn't inspiring. It's too bright for me. I'm a bit of a vampire. We all are, except maybe Simon. What's the vampire in a limousine? Girl, I'm not going to sing it because I can't memorize it because I'm moving on. Yeah. Vampire in a limousine. Yeah. You guys will all correct me, I'm sure. Okay. Oh, this is fun. Nick talks about who does Nick think, who he thinks makes good sounding records. And he says Kate Bush's album was terrific. He likes the sound of Frankie, Goes to Hollywood. Queen, I don't know. John Taylor may like them, but he's got strange taste. He's talking about John Taylor having strange taste. Queen, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Give me some Radio Gaga, baby. That's beautiful. Love it when they talk about their tastes. That's how our own horizons got broadened by hearing the band. Okay, so can't leave my nose alone. It's itchy. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is a feature on Duran. This is a review of a show. Worcester, Massachusetts. Here, the young girls dance, they shriek, they wriggle, they writhe, tears run down their cheeks. The cause of this display is 3 British pop stars known as Duran Duran, now on a 6-month world tour. Amid all the screaming, is anybody listening? John says, we've never not had wildly enthusiastic audiences. It would be nice if they listened to what we're doing. They apparently played Poplar Creek, July 8th. That's really cool. And once it was reported that a band member balked at shooting the Sri Lanka videos because of the effect the heat there might have had on his lip gloss. When reminded of this, John begins laughing quietly. Nick curls his lip in contempt. Nick says, that's what somebody makes up. And John says, people want bowl from you, you feed them it. And Nick says, I'm a lot smarter than I know all of them are, so it really doesn't matter. I can really take myself above them. And John says, and besides, you have heat-resistant lip gloss. Oh, all those naysayers, John and Nick knew exactly how to deal with them. Moving on to 1988, Smash Hits magazine. Okay, this is fun. Here's another day in the life. So I kind of plucked out some things. A day in the life of Simon. This is really funny. Simon's talking about working out. John and I often work out together. It's much easier if there's 2 of you. Nick doesn't do anything. Nothing. He doesn't eat very much, and he doesn't use up much energy, so he stays thin, but isn't particularly strong. He's just low mileage. He'll probably live a lot longer than me or John. Oh, that's great. And then Simon talks about having breakfast and room service. Today it's my room. It's in my room. Pasta with tomato sauce, strawberries, and some calamari tea. I usually have mint tea, but they haven't got any. Proper tea is my favorite, but I can't drink any milk or butter or cheese on tour because it makes you secrete mucus and messes up your voice. After the show, though, I'm like a pig. I'll eat everything I can, especially spicy food, Mexican, Indian, and Cajun. Wow, mouth is watering. And then he says, sometimes I'll put a little bit of makeup on, depending upon whether I've got any spots. Then I'll have a shave, play with my hair a bit, rub it up, and then we go on stage. The lights go down, and the intro tape goes on. Suddenly, life all gets very clear, and everything falls into perspective. Sometimes I think beforehand that I'm not looking forward to it and could do without it, but as soon as the music starts, it works. Time stops for 2 hours. Isn't that how a Duran Duran concert is? Oh my gosh, time actually stops in here with you guys, and but before you know it, I'm almost out of time. And then he talks about dreams. Last thing I'll share, this strange, crazy dream. Simon says, when he had a dream recently that somebody was sending him messages by spider. Could it have been anything besides a spider? God, I hate spiders. A spider would crawl up my right arm, go across my shoulders, and down my left arm, and then I'd understand the message. The messages came from my right hand. They were really stupid. I don't think it'll catch on. Simon Le Bon dreams. And there's a picture to go with it. A day in the life of Simon Le Bon. Okay, so I lied. I'm going to try and squeeze in a few more things. Yeah, this is where Simon gives his impression on some artists at the top, and then those artists give their impression. There's Kim Wilde, Susanna Hoffs. Some things are flattering, some are not. And then there's a review of The Secret Policeman's Third Ball at the London Palladium. And yeah, good stuff. Great picture of the band on the opposite page. Oh yeah, and then, okay, so then we're zooming ahead into 1998. There's lunch. This journalist had lunch with Simon and Warren. A couple bits I picked out. Has your audience changed? Simon says, it's a very grown-up audience, very mixed and very passionate. It's not just a bunch of screaming girls. There are some, but... And the journalist says, you always had tons of screaming girls. And Warren says, it's a bit different now, because those screaming girls are now 30 years old. And Simon says, they scream with a slightly deeper voice. True. And then, they talk about the headbands. The journalist says, there's a new movement with the youth in Japan. It's called Femio, makeup, ruffles, headbands. And Simon says, the headbands. Yes, we invented the headbands. And Warren disagrees. Rod Stewart invented the headband. And Simon says, no, Jimi Hendrix did. I remember we were backstage in Newcastle and Roger Taylor was saying, I can't stand this hair. It's really getting in my... He took a towel and tore a strip of it and tied it around his head. And I thought, what a great idea. Oh, Jimmy tied it around Roger's head. That's what it sounds like. That's really cool. 3 months later, the whole world is wearing headbands. Oh, that's great. And they talk about playing around with sexuality. And Simon says, you try that more and more until you turn into Mick Jagger. Oh, Simon. You and the sound bites. Very cool. Having lunch with Simon and Warren. Wow, that would be quite a spirited conversation. Oh my gosh. So, and this one interview in Vanity Fair, again, mainstream press, so cool. There's a whole bunch of really cool questions that I wanted to pull out. I'm running out of time. It ends with this great question. Speaking of members, who has the biggest member of Duran Duran? Seriously? And Simon says, that is a really intelligent question. I'm going to have to think about that for a while. Is it you, Simon? The journalist says. You're blushing. Wow, what a note to end on. Maybe we should end on that. Can never get through enough with you guys. This has been so fun, and I hate leaving. Oh my gosh. Couple things. I'm definitely, for all you Pacific Northwest Duranis and people who want to travel, I'm definitely investigating on what I can do for Duran Duran Appreciation Day this year. So stay tuned. I will hopefully have answers for you. I can just imagine a whole bunch of Duranis like spread out 6 feet apart along a street where we usually gather every August 10th. So that's going to be interesting. So I'll let you know how that goes. Just want a little reminder, please don't pass up a chance to express love and appreciation for whoever means something to you. Just don't let a day go by. I'm just learning that myself, and I don't know, it includes you guys. I so appreciate all of you joining me. I mean, we are in summer, we are in July. This year is going by, and you guys have just made it so special and easier. So thank you very, very much for joining. Oh my God, I cannot hug you enough. Please stay safe, remain hopeful, okay, and leave a light on. I love you guys so much. Thank you.